Well, hi, Alana Kay. How are you doing? It's been a hot minute.
I'm good. How are you, Tracy? It's been a real hot minute. Gosh, I can't even remember the last time we were doing this.
Well,
It's got to be at least a year.
it is. It is over a year since we were last doing, and we've come up with a new idea, haven't we just? Oh, yes, we
Yes,
have.
we have.
We are now the Queens of Tart.
The
Now, what's
Queens of
the
Tart.
Queens of Tart? Now, what's that, you may ask? Well, I'll tell you, it's a little bit of na 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 grandma.
Like what I aspire to be when I'm that age, with the pink hair, especially.
Well, I'm not
You know,
quite sure I'm at that age yet, but we're getting there.
we'll definitely we can do our hair pink at some point. You've got this. You'd
Well,
rock the pink, actually. You look great in pink.
do you think? We'll have to do it.
Maybe we'll do half and half. Or do
Pink
like a
ver
little like strip of pink or
the pink
something.
version of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Pink ladies.
Yes, yes. So,
Very
in light
good.
of the fact that the the economy is shattered, politics is a we're not going.
Yes.
Well, we might talk politics, but it'll be well. We're not gonna mention names. No more names. No more
No
politics.
more name calling. We'll keep it hush, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
talking about like Queens of Tart, what that means. What is it being a woman in this day and age? What are we kind of facing? How are we feeling about being a woman?
Well,
I don't
how are we
know. How
feeling
are you
about being
feeling?
a woman? Why don't we ask the myriad of women out there that have always feeling, well, this is my good body day, this is my bad hair day, this I can't see people in, and if I don't look cute, what is the point of life?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it like begs the question, like, self-image, how you're feeling about yourself. And the day and age that we live in, it's all social media, and it's getting more and more crazy with the way that especially young girls are viewing their body. And, TikTok filters
Well,
and people changing the way they look. I think there's more surgery. There's also Ozempic. You know what I mean?
Ozempic. Uh, Well,
Ozempic, that's it.
it's very difficult. I'm a big sort of like, I watch a lot of YouTube. Do you watch a lot of YouTube? Tons of
I
you.
do actually, yeah. I kind of fall down the rabbit hole of YouTube. And I do my biggest thing is I doom scroll. I doom scroll Instagram videos. That's my thing. And I'm like so tuned into just like doing that on my phone, doing that on my phone, doing that on my phone. So when I finally move, I want to make it a habit to read more before bed instead of doom scrolling. And
That's the
also
thing.
just,
Yeah, I
yeah, it's
mean,
just
I tell you what it does for your eyesight. You'll be wearing glasses before you know it. You're sitting on
well,
those screens.
I need new glasses actually. I need to get some new ones. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, being a woman, influencers, TikTok, more filters, Ozempic. And it's so sad, isn't it? Like even the celebrities you can see them using it on the catwalks, using it on, these events, the Grammys and stuff, and just the rate of, how they're losing rate is just crazy. Like some of these artists, it's like, yeah, it's very
Well, I
worrying to
just,
see
I
actually.
just think everything's gone a little bit extreme. I
I
mean,
think so.
I
Yeah.
mean, an extreme makeover back in the day was make yourself look 10 years younger and a bit of makeup and zip, zip, double tap, and you were done.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
you need a whole new teeth and face and Botox and plastic and
Yeah.
have you seen how pretty they all were before they started with that crap?
I know, and it's so sad because and I sometimes even catch myself questioning, like, do I need to change something now? Because it is so, and while I celebrate people like doing what makes you feel good, I just get worried for like the younger generation, I suppose, like teenage girls, because it was always even
At what
hard
point do
growing up
you
as
have
a
to
teenager.
justify you feeling good while you're busy looking like you don't even look as good as Barbie? I mean
Yeah.
the real Barbie doll. It's
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Everyone wants to look plastic. There's
I
this
mean,
whole like trend on the facelift. Everyone's getting these crazy
it's an
facelifts and stuff.
unfortunate thing, but we can't all naturally look like Margot Robbie.
Yeah,
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 we just
exactly.
can't.
Yeah,
She is the epitome of this little Barbie doll, but she's gonna age too.
yeah. Yeah.
This
You
is
know
not
who I
beach.
really admire right now is what's her name? The Beach Watch girl, the Beach Watch woman.
Baywatch.
Baywatch. Yeah,
Oh,
what's her
Pamela
name?
Anderson.
Yeah, and she's just not wearing any makeup on the carpet, and
And
she's
they're
just showing
being
up to
so
the event.
mean.
And they're being so horrible to her. I'm like, God forbid that a woman's letting herself like age naturally and gracefully, and she's just ditching the makeup. Like, I love that. I love that she's just setting this new stand. Like, I don't care. I'm gonna age how I want to, and I'm gonna do it natural, and I'm not gonna wear makeup. I'm not gonna cake myself. And makeup does make us all feel good, but I love that for her that she's just showing up and be like, no, just gonna
Pam
be natural.
Anderson and I are the same age.
Yeah,
Okay, we're about the same age.
yeah.
And I think to myself, God, the only time I actually put makeup on is when I do this. And today I put very limited amount of makeup on. And they're
And
going,
you
oh,
look
you look so
amazing.
frumpy. Oh, she looks like this. I'm thinking, it's people like you telling her how frumpy she is that make the rest of us want to go out and look like a really bad case of, I'm just trying to remember whose facial features are so distorted. Oh, well,
Well, we've seen like
Donatella, what's her face? Is it
yeah,
Gucci or
yeah,
Versace?
I know, yeah,
Yeah. Now,
yeah,
again, she was a perfectly attractive looking woman. And I don't care how much she's going, I feel very fine and sexy, like if I'm going, but you really shouldn't. I know you've got to feel good
yeah,
about the money you've kind of like spent on this, but you would have been
yeah.
far more attractive had you not bothered.
Yeah, yeah, it's almost like extremist, isn't it? Kind of
Yeah.
thing, right? It's
But
gone to the
then
absolute like extreme
then you
side.
think, okay, fine, she'd have got old naturally, and then they're sitting there and they'd be doing the same to her as they're doing to Pamela Anderson. Oh, you look frumpy. Oh, you're this. You
Yeah,
think, why are we going around pleasing all of these people? It's not like they stick with us for their entire lives, you know?
yeah.
And
It's
then you,
just horrible. It's just like this is the day and age we live in. It's just like people are so quick to judge, and this is probably, for people for doing, being natural. It's almost like you're getting shamed for like not like being like getting plastic surgery. It's
yeah, and
almost like people are shaming
if
them
it
when they're
was
not
just the
doing that.
men
They're like,
turning around and saying you were looking frumpy, you could get all sort of like, oh, you misogynist, you have these looks at yourself in the mirror. But it's other women.
oh gosh,
It's other
yeah,
women telling you you
yeah,
look frumpy, and you're thinking, well, have you looked at yourself in the mirror this morning? You all
yeah,
wake
yeah.
up with no
You know what?
makeup on, just simple as that.
Yeah. Speaking of property, I literally got told. So I got my new picture taken for work, and I went out for drinks with. I thought who was my friend, and he said, "Oh, you look. This is such a disgrace to pregnant women as well." He's like, "Oh, you look fat and pregnant in that," and I'm like, and I was wearing this dress. So there you go. I'm like, I'll personally come on camera wearing this dress. And I was like, how rude. And I just said, I made a mean comment back at him because I'm like, if you're going to feed it to me, I'm going to feed it right back to you, honey. He's like, I'm joking, I'm joking. But, even men that can be so critical of the way that women look. And
I
it's just
know
like,
it's
excuse
just
me.
it's just also very, very wrong. We're all very different.
Yeah.
And as I said, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
you know,
Just,
I mean, I can't, I'm one of those people who couldn't afford plastic surgery if I tried hard, you know what I mean? It's just not going to ever happen. And I do it, and I'm thinking, I'm going, and all that. And then I take a look at them and I think to myself, well, maybe it's a good job I can't afford it.
yeah. Yeah. But
Maybe I'll
yeah,
just
and
have to
it's
be satisfied
crazy
with
the
looking
amount of
frumpy.
people. Well, it's the amount of money that gets dished out into these surgeries. It's obscene. Life is already expensive anyway, and then the amount of money that you have to accumulate to have just like the bridge of your nose like more slim or something. It's just insane, and it's a lot of people are doing it because it's the internet, it's the TikTok, it's the filters, and it's
What's the
like, oh
whole
well,
thing?
I'm not looking.
Do you remember
Yeah,
Linda Evangelista? She was a model back
no,
in the 80s and 90s. Well, by about the
okay,
90s, yeah, by about the 90s, she decided that she was going to go and have some cosmetic surgery, so like shaping and yada yada. So she went for this stuff,
yeah,
and it gave her an ailment whereby she just got fatter. Everything, it just made her fatter.
oh wow,
Yeah, and I mean,
wow,
she's like a ramp model, the catwalk and everything. She was stunning. I mean,
wow,
she's still, you can still see the prettiness underneath it, but she totally
yeah.
annihilated her career as a result. I
Wow.
mean, and you
It's very
think of
sad.
us
There's
sort
even,
of like
yeah,
trying to do acting and modeling and stuff like that, and then going out
yeah,
and ruining everything. Bad enough that
yeah.
with just
It's,
makeup, you
it's
can make
yeah.
yourself change your look entirely so nobody knows what you look like when you take your makeup off.
Well, that's the thing as well. It's, because I can do quite a lot of makeup if I'm going out or something, but like I do try and keep not overdo it in a sense, because if I'm like, well, if I like end up taking my makeup off and then like some guys like, whoa, you look
Well,
different.
yeah, yeah,
So I
exactly.
try and like do it in a way that flatters my features, I guess, without caking it on too much, if
Yeah,
that
well, you
makes any
kind of
sense.
have
But
to.
anyway,
My mom always
yeah,
said less is more, but that only comes to
yeah,
makeup, not to clothes.
yeah, exactly. That's funny. Speaking of the plastic surgery, I don't know if you heard about this one woman. I forget her name, but if you research it, it's so, so sad. So this woman was getting, I think it was Botox, so she was getting some kind of injection to make her skin look plumper, more youthful, yada, yada, yada. And I think she had like, so I don't quite know what happened, maybe some financial struggles, but she got so desperate to try and look a certain way that she started to do her own injections into her face at home. And she was using oil, and there was even like talk of her using things like cement,
I
and
think
her
I
face
remember
now
hearing about
is
that. Yeah.
so destructed. Like, it's just so sad, and like her face is swollen, and like, it's just so sad, and like she's completely
Mm.
ruined her health and her face because that's how desperate she got, making her own injections and finding whatever she could to make her skin look more plump and more
You see,
youthful, and
this
it
is
just
where
it
I
just
worry
completely
that it's
destroyed
more
her.
psychological than actually physiological. They don't really need the
That's
change.
it.
It
Yeah,
just feels so psyched out about they're not looking young, sexy, or pretty. You know,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
It's
hard
very
being a
sad, but
girl
that's the day and
sometimes,
age that
Lance.
we live in. And that's also another thing that I wanted to speak about, because I was around when the internet was just sort of starting to bloom, and it was like then it was MySpace, then it was Facebook, and then it's Bebo, and then it was Instagram, and now it's TikTok, and now we've got AI. So people are now using AI to change themselves entirely, to basically
Well, I
almost make a
mean,
clone
we've
or
been
replica
using
of themselves in
Photoshop for the last
situations.
20 years to do similar kinds of things and
Yeah,
stuff like that. I don't know how to play with the apps enough to actually bother. If
yeah.
I'm going to sit there
Okay.
and do
Yeah.
a nice little, this is what I'm going to do if I turn around and say, oh, what am I going to do? Huzzah!
Yeah.
I'm making me a little
Yeah.
avatar here. I'm sure I got an avatar here.
Amazing.
I just
Yeah,
don't
it's
know
just,
whether,
you can make yourself an entire different person, and then you can like you don't know what that person looks like behind that AI person that they created. You've
yeah.
even got people making themselves celebrities, like they're stealing Margot Robbie's face is actually an Instagram account, and then they've got Leonardo DiCaprio's face, and then they do these silly TikTok challenges with these celebrities' faces on. It's crazy.
I
It's just a
know.
wild world that we live in now.
Well, it's the
It really
same with
is.
the adverts. You're getting all these fake adverts, and they're even using the voices. I mean, and it's anybody, it's politicians, it's famous people,
Yeah.
it's fake doctors.
Yeah.
And we're sitting
Yeah.
listening to this
And I
crap.
worry. Yeah.
The world is upside down.
Well,
There's
what about
nothing real
entertainers?
anymore. But you know what is real?
Yeah, well, entertainers are getting replaced as well, right? Like I worry that AI is just going to wipe out all actors, because who's to say why would they spend X amount of money on hiring someone like Margot Robbie when they can simply just copy and paste her face on some random person?
Well,
So it's
here's
like,
the
what about the
thing.
celebrities? They're going to start losing the job.
Well, no, it kind of like does matter because if you're turning around and saying you're going to use AI for all your actors and stuff like that, you're using AI to write and you're listening to how they speak and stuff. It's one of the reasons why
Yeah.
I won't do any of those things to teach AI shit, man. Because
Hmm.
as it stands at the moment, I can sincerely tell the difference between a real person and an AI, and you can tell it's in the voice.
Yeah.
Because no matter what those
Yeah.
algorithms do, they cannot do the nuances. I don't care how clever these coders think they are, they're just not that smart.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and it's because nobody really has the ability. And as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned, that's fine. They can go out and they can do shoddy crap like that, but AI will never be able to provide the nuances that the human nuance provides. If that makes sense. Yeah, that one.
That does make sense.
I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
you try getting an AI of anything to explain to you, especially since most of these things are coded by freaking men, what a period
Yeah.
pain is. Do
Oh
they
gosh, yeah,
know?
we
Would
love
they even
those.
know where to begin?
Yeah, just another fun thing about being a woman. Let's just add some pain in there. Or
Oh,
like even
yeah,
ovarian cysts and stuff. Let's just casually grow those in women as well, and let that be another problem that we have to deal with.
yeah.
And those are painful as well, you know.
Sorry, what was painful as well? What did I miss there?
Ovarian cysts, just stuff
Oh,
like that.
yeah,
Like I explained that to one of the guys, and they're like, "What do you mean women grow that?" I'm like, "Yep, just another fun thing about being a woman. We just
yeah. We
grow
can have
those as
those. I mean,
well, you know."
granted, you can get testicular cancer, so there's, an ovary and a
Yeah, that's
ball,
true. Yeah,
a testicular, a testicle. That one
yeah,
on the inside, one on the outside, and they both get cancer. But yeah, these are painful
yeah.
things. No amount of. I'm sorry, you just. I'm just a person. How I can't even describe how the pain and the suffering must feel from something like that. How do you think that
Yeah,
AI is
yeah.
going to do it when the coder doesn't understand it?
Well, that's the thing, and it is just so painful. I remember mine used to be really bad up until I chose my method of contraception, and mine are fine now if I have them at all. But like I used to be in like the fetal position, and it's not even just the pain that comes with it; it's the nausea, it's the sickness.
Mm.
Like that's another part of it as well. Just feeling like so sick and just like not being able to really do anything. Big times that I'd just be lying there like in pain. It's just yeah, just wonderful, wonderful things of being a woman.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's that, and then I mean, if you, that's the period pains, and I mean, I was pretty lucky. I mean, at most, I needed a hot water bottle the night before, and
Yeah, no,
the
that's
day it
really, really
started after
tricky.
that, I was fine for 4 days. It happened for 4 days. It was done and dusted. But
Hmm.
you think about that, which you have to kind of like starts around about between the age of 12 and 14, plus minus,
Yeah,
and it doesn't finish until you are in your 50s generally. And then
that's crazy, isn't it?
unless you're really unlucky and then you get an early onset, if you're not getting early onset Alzheimer's, you're getting early onset menopause. And that's what it is. And my thing tells me I'm
Yeah.
running out of time here on my recording.
Oh no,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
babbling
Oh
on.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, rattling on here. So I'm gonna have to sort of like take a break before we get to the whole menopause issue. Oh dear, where have I gone? Oh no. And we'll be back in 5, folks. Yeah, and then you got the whole period thing, and then you come to the end of your sort of like middle age and stuff like that. And yes, itchy, bitchy, sweaty, sleepy, bloaty, forgetful, and psycho. I don't know so much about the psycho, but the
Yeah.
forgetful, the sweaty, oh, and the itchy. Oh my word! You think you
Yeah,
just got
what
rid
is
of
that,
one
I
thing, and then
wonder?
you start with a whole other thing.
I wonder why. Okay, so bloated. I do get bloated in general. That could just be for my lifestyle choices. But I feel like the itchiness. I never understood that when it comes to menopause. Why do you get itchy? Sweating. I've been told that you get sweaty. I've been told that you're
Well, it's
probably a
not
bit more
sweaty
fatigued.
so
But
much
is
as
that the itching?
we have hot flushes, or we wake up in the middle of the night and we toss the duvet off because we're having a hot flush.
Yeah,
And I've
yeah.
had, I'm not a word of a lie, I've had 15 years of hot fucking flushes.
Oh no.
15 years.
I know, that's
And
horrible. They need to
it,
make like some kind of medication so that women don't have hot flashes when it comes to
well, they
menopause.
do. It's called hormonal replacement therapy, HRT, and you can have pills. But this silly tart here, this queen of tart, she decided she was going to do it au natural. No pills, no nothing. No, 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 no. No hormones.
And sometimes that
None of
might
my
not be a bad
hormones
idea
have been
because
paid.
again, yeah. And again, maybe not a bad idea because that's the thing is like we've got so many pills in the world right now. There's nothing natural happening anymore,
Yeah,
you know?
but then it causes, then you get, oh, we're terribly worried about your cholesterol. We don't know whether it's menopausal or whether you're going to die.
Gosh, yeah. Well,
There's some,
that's
you,
another
you
thing
feel
to
there's
worry
something
about as
wrong with you
well.
and you go to the doctor and they go, it's your age, darling." My age.
And the aging,
My
they just go
age.
right, yeah. Just, instead of sort of like really trying to find the ground root of the problem, they just go, "Oh, it's your age." Like, come on.
No, no, no.
But yeah,
You tell them you got a
yeah.
pain when you're
But
younger, and oh, you're young, you'll deal with it.
yeah,
And
oh yeah, well that's another thing, right? Like, oh, I'm sure
oh,
it's
you're too,
nothing,
are they
and
too
it's
old to
like turns
care?
out it could be.
When you're young, they know
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
about it.
Yeah, and they think that your body will just like kind of get over it because you're younger. It's just such a silly way of thinking, right? But
Oh,
yeah, menopause, again, another delightful thing of being a woman. So it's like after you've like stopped dealing with your period, well, guess what we're gonna do to you now? Like
well,
now you've got over that train.
you've got men going around, oh, why have you always got a headache? This period problem is one of the reasons why we always have freaking headaches. And when you get older,
Well, yeah,
why don't you want to do it anymore? Oh, well, basically, I've paused on men. This is why we don't want to do it
yeah,
anymore. And then
men
when you tell
over.
us we look
Yeah,
frumpy after having the kids, oh, we love you, but you look frumpy after having the kids. You leave us for a younger model. This is a girl's life. What the
it's just
fuck is...
incredible. It's like we can't catch a break.
Oh,
We
damn
can't
if we
catch a
do, and
break. It's
bugger
like,
if we don't.
I
No,
know
no, no,
exactly,
no.
and that's especially the thing. Like after pregnancy, I've heard so many people, and I know people who've even had like surgeries and stuff, and then because they get these silly comments thrown at them, like, "Oh, you haven't lost that baby weight yet," and it's like you've literally been carrying a human in you. Your body has changed because you are housing a small human and growing it inside of you. It's not going to
And
just
they
snap back like an elastic.
and they want to know why women run around sort of losing their shit. It's not that we're losing our shit, we're just sick
Exactly.
and tired of putting up with everybody else's.
Exactly. It's just that we've just had enough now. It's like,
Absolutely.
just like we've just had enough of it. We're being told we're too fat, we're too thin, we're not wearing enough makeup, we should get a facelift, oh, we shouldn't wear that because it's making us look frumpy. And as you were saying about the videos earlier, there were most of the time the people who are, sometimes it can be women, but it's mostly men making these horrible comments.
And it is. And
And
you
it's
see
like, okay, and it's like,
half the time they're
yeah,
sitting with a butt belly, moves on freaking game in their
yeah,
mother's basement at 50. Da, 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 not Batman.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like if you're before you're prepared to judge someone, I think you really have to reflect on yourself. What is your intention behind this? And most of the time it's just because people are miserable in their own lives. That's what I found.
Well, generally you're right, but the problem is when it comes to browbeating women, the world has got a nya, 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 nya.
Yeah. So we've just
And
had
it's the
enough.
girl's life.
Just give us a break.
No, it's okay. Don't give
Yeah.
us a break. With the shit we put up with, we should own the world. That is we should own the world.
Exactly.
Men should have no
Who
say
run the world?
whatsoever.
Girls.
No say.
So Beyonce said, who run the world? Girls.
Yeah. And we're not bringing
So
any more
anyway, yeah.
milkshake to the yard, love. So
Yeah, no, I don't want any boys in my yard. In fact, go away. In fact, I'm going to put up, I don't know, some guard dogs, keep them at bay. Keep away from my yard, girls only, have a big old party.
oh, they'll have something to complain about.
Men
Hey,
will
you
get
only
carried
like
away.
girls now. So what are you, lesbian? No. I just
No,
have
I've had that thrown at me all the time with my friend, especially when I had shorter hair. So I go, quick, people are to judge women again. It's like when I have my short hair and I've got a tattoo, she's tattooed. And then they're like, oh, you make such a cute couple. And it's like, oh my God, like can't women just be
well,
really close friends
well, that's the
without.
other thing. You go around, you're a girl, you've got boom. Okay, so where were we before we were rudely interrupted by a pause midway?
Ran into some technical difficulties.
Always a technique. Well,
Such
yeah,
a such is
we were
life.
on this whole menopause thing. I mean, to me, it's a case of men. Oh, we are so paused.
Men, we are so paused. I love that.
We are so paused.
That's so funny.
Well,
Yeah.
you go. You were talking about itchy, bitchy, sweaty, sleepy, bloated, forgetful, and psycho. I mean, granted, I've had
Yeah.
all of those hot flushes and stuff like that. But bloated has never been one of the problems. Forgetful, on the other hand, is like having slushy brain when you're pregnant. So here's the funny thing. Here's the
Mm.
funny thing. When I was pregnant, I'd gone shopping, came home, putting the shopping in the freezer, yada yada, fish paste, and couldn't find my keys. Only to discover I'd put the keys in the freezer. Another time, cleaning the house, going around, making coffee, tea, milk, whatever. Well, cleaned the house and had took a coffee break, and then I had to go back to try and carry on cleaning. And for the love of God, I could not find the cleaning materials. And what had I done? I
Oh
eventually found
no.
them right next door to the milk in the fridge.
Oh my gosh. I've done that so many times.
And, and,
Like,
and that's
well, I've misplaced
pregnancy.
something.
And that's pregnancy. You know,
Yeah. They
that's
call it
after the
pregnant brain.
period, but before the menopause.
Yeah.
And when
They
you've got
call
the
it pregnancy
menopause,
brain.
you make a toasted cheese sandwich, and then afterwards you go and find some more cheese for something else for some reason. For the love of God, you can't find the frickin' cheese. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Hang on a second.
I'm forgetful
I
anyway,
put
and
it
I'm not even at menopause.
in the freezer. The freezer. I can't remember words, but I blame COVID for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I often get very forgetful, and I'm not even like, at menopause, pregnancy, or anything like that. So I'm going to be absolutely doomed when that stuff happens to me. I'm not going to make it in life. I'm really not, like, because I'm that type of person where I'll be walking around and I'm like, "Where's my phone?" And then it's literally in my hand or something. Or or I just forget things. I leave things in places. My bracelets at work. I haven't done it at my new job yet, but my previous job, I was always taking off my rings. So I'd just be leaving jewelry everywhere around the salon. And it's just, yeah. So I'm forgetful as I am now. So I'm absolutely doomed when it comes to when I get pregnant and menopause. So yeah, there's no hope for me.
God
There's no
forbid when
hope.
you're 80 and
I have to write
Alzheimer's
little
starts.
reminders down.
What's
I have to have my
Alzheimer's?
little
I've been
journal.
forgetting
I
things
try not.
since I was 20.
Yeah, yeah, but such is life, that's another thing added to the mixture, just to make it more fun for us women. So
I
yeah,
know.
menopause,
And then
yeah,
you turn around and
menopause
say,
period.
but what's your problem? How about just everything?
Yeah, yeah, we've
And
just
then
had enough,
and I know, we've got all these transgender women out there saying, yeah, you're women. Yeah, you're women when you've gone through that period, when you've gone through that menopause, when you've gone through that pregnancy, when you've gone through all that shit and all the shit that
yeah,
goes with it, then you talk to me about you
yeah,
being a woman. I'm glad you've got nice tits. I'm really glad you've got nice tits, and I'm glad you feel better and you're pretty. But the rest of us really don't.
yeah. Yeah. It's just that, like with the biology of being like unborn a woman, there's just so much that we go through in our bodies. It's just insane.
It is
It's
insane.
it's crazy.
And
Yeah,
I'm sure they're
and we
very
can put
lovely
up with it.
people, our trans women. But until
Yeah,
you've gone through the shit, don't talk to me. Just don't fucking talk to me.
yeah, yeah. It's very painful, the childbearing, stuff like that. Our bodies don't bounce back from it, and some of us can't
No.
afford surgery
And men
to
keep on
get the
saying,
tummy
oh,
tucked and stuff.
just have another child. Like they have 5 minutes of fun for them, a lifetime of regret for the rest of us.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
You know,
So it's very difficult being a woman in this day and age. And all the surgeries and stuff that are popping up, all of this stuff, like even the Ozempic thing, it's just so much pressure on us, right? To just sort of like these beauty standards are just ever evolving as well, and it's never good enough. It just feels like being a woman in this society is just never good enough for some people. Oh, we're going to change
yeah,
this now, or we're not
I
doing this
must,
correctly, or we should be doing more of this.
back in the day when
Yeah.
there was artists doing artist renditions of what a woman, you had the Rubenesque woman, the woman that had
Yeah.
curves in all the right places. And she was an average, I mean, even Marilyn Monroe was an average size 14.
Hmm.
She wasn't small. She wasn't anything such as a size zero. And she only stayed gorgeous because she died at 35.
Yeah, and it's really sad, and well, that's another thing, and that's famous. A lot of women, that 27 club almost. Well, she's 35, but a lot of women they get all these surgeries, and then when they've spent the money on surgeries, they then get into drugs and stuff, right? Didn't she die of a drug overdose, Marilyn Monroe, or
She died of
something?
a drug overdose. She never, but I mean, plastic surgery when she died wasn't such a big thing at that back then. In those days, they only did it for real victims of burn victims and stuff like that. It wasn't in the
Yeah, that's true.
consciousness that you could just change your body because you didn't feel good about yourself anymore, or that the industry and you were in didn't want you anymore.
And also, it's very sad because that's a time when curves were celebrated. A lot of people
Absolutely.
until they love Marilyn Monroe. Like one of my friends, he's like loves Marilyn Monroe, and he's like, oh, like she was like, oh, I love her body, like. But now it's gone the complete opposite way. We've got keep going back to the weight loss, but it's just so sad.
It
So the
is, and
classics, like
and
seeing those
and we
big
get. I mean,
actors,
nowadays you've got guys that have a tendency to go through it as well, and this whole thing about it being obese or getting
yeah,
diabetes because you are obese. Um, you
yeah,
know, and it's a case of. I mean, I was raised with a mother who, if you got too. If, well, I was either too fat or too thin. There was never any happy middle, and that's.
there
But
was like
then
no
I've
middle
been
ground, yeah,
yo-yo through my. I was 52 kilograms back in the day. But 50
yeah,
kilograms is not a size zero. It's a size
yeah,
six.
yeah,
That's as small as I got.
just like. Yep. And I think it's just also about celebrating what you have. And so many of us, like, we have our good days, we have our bad days, we have our days where we're feeling shitty about ourselves. But at the end of the day, it goes about saying you've only got one body. And, in this lifetime, you've only got one. Like, just treat it kindly and, try and love it in the best way that you can, right? And you're going to have your terrible days. We all do. But you
Well,
got to,
yeah, I
you've only
mean,
got the one body. Might as well try and love it.
yeah, I mean, they say you only live once. Well, hang on a second. Yes, but how long do I want to live? And that's what,
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
and,
That's
and
another
it's
thing
the
as well.
it's that whole sort of like mental stress that you go under because uh, if you're single, you're trying to, you think that you must go out there and find a man to get married and have kids to. Because
Yeah.
society has
Again,
told
yeah,
us that for
society.
forever. And yeah, I think back to myself, I had one marriage. I'm not doing it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I'm just sort of at that point where I don't have any expectations from men anymore. I really don't. And I used to be so toxic to myself because I like project this fantasy, like, oh, it's gonna be great. And I'm like, I have no expectations from anyone anymore. And I
no,
just try and
no.
enjoy myself. And
The only
and if
person you
one's
can
nice,
really
maybe
rely
it will
on,
happen, maybe it won't.
the only
Yeah,
person you can really
yeah.
rely on
You
is
have to
you.
take care of yourself.
And I think you have to be
You
happy in
have to learn to
you.
take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be happy
So,
and take care of yourself and bugger everybody else.
well, that's
That's
it.
what it is.
There's this whole idea where, oh, I need a prince to come and save me. It's like, honey, sometimes there ain't no prince coming to save you. You got to save yourself. You got to pick yourself up. And if they
This
want
is
to join you, that's great. But you really got to like look after yourself because you can't rely on everyone.
Well, no,
You just
I,
can't.
I think
You got to
that's the
rely on
whole
yourself.
thing. The society has sort of like said we're relying on men to validate us, and
Yes,
we've got
exactly.
to learn no. We've done it for centuries, and we've just got to stop. We just have to
Yeah.
stop. I mean, I take a look at what Kanye does to his new wife. Making her strip in
Oh,
public,
I know.
making her wear those ridiculous clothes, and then you think, have you got no
Oh gosh, it's
self-respect,
amazing.
girl?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not about just her having
Yeah.
self-respect. You think, who is this person making somebody
It's
do
just
this?
exactly. It's very sad. It's also just what happens to the point where like I wonder if he really does govern her body. He's parading her around like a show pony, getting her to strip. You don't know what's happening behind closed doors. You don't know if he's like got on some like weird diet or something. You just don't know with like these
All I
relationships and
know
what we're
is that
seeing.
if somebody did that to me just once, I would never be with them
Yeah.
again in public or in private.
No,
That would be it,
exactly.
over, done. In fact, by the time they
Yeah.
actually asked me to do that, I would have already walked off stage fully closed.
Be
I mean,
like,
the only time I was
not for
prepared to do
me.
that was when I was going to win a competition at a drunken girls' night out.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, I was drunk.
There you
The
go.
rest of the girls were drunk, and it was the case of, but if you do this, and we had some stupid game to play, and we would get we'd get gift vouchers to go shopping and stuff like that. But you had to, and yeah, but also I was 21, I had a cute figure back then, so who cares, you know?
There you
And it
go.
was a girls' night out, so you kind of do things when you're with your friends that you wouldn't necessarily do it. I was with my friends. Nobody was literally making me strip in public so that they could
Ah, you're
make
having
themselves
fun,
feel
right?
important.
And that's it. Yeah. Have fun. Have fun with your girls. Have fun in life. But
Mm.
yeah, just
But as I
all be
said,
kind to each
I
other.
was 21 then. It's been we won't be doing that ever again. We never did it again. Just thought. So
You
yeah,
had fun.
it's a
That's the
tough
main
life
thing.
being a girl. It's not a beach, it's a bitch.
Yeah, I like that. Life's, life sometimes isn't a beach, it's a bitch.
No, no. Well, I would prefer the beach. Yes, much prefer the beach,
Yeah,
even if it did get sand.
definitely.
Well,
Definitely.
and that's us. That's excusez-moi. That is us, the Queens of Tart. If we haven't been tarty
The
enough for
Queens of
you
Tart.
today, come back and see us.
Yeah, yeah,
We might be tartier again.
yeah. Come back and see us next time. We shall be back hopefully within the next week or two with our next topics, and we hope you enjoy this new platform on our channel.
Yeah, and thank you for joining us. Don't forget to da 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 like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe
And
to our channel, guys.
this
We'll be
last
doing
but
this
not least,
as yeah, yes, exactly. We'll be trying to do these videos as often as we could both can, but I'll be relocating to Toronto, so actually we'll be doing this more so in
oh,
person,
so
which will be great.
excited. My BFF coming to town. Da, 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 da.
No more technical difficulties, hopefully, touch wood. But anyway, we'll
All
see you
right.
next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Love you all madly. Cheery byes.